Hey everyone, I am your fave nurse B. Thanks for coming back to my channel. If you are new here, consider subscribing. I have plenty of videos for CNA, CMTs, nurses, aspiring nurses, nursing students, all that jazz. I am your fave nurse B. So if you haven't already, go check out part 1 and part 2. In part 1, I'm talking about more general things you need to know about becoming an LPN and life before becoming an LPN. And then in part 2, I talk more about nursing school in general. And then in this part, I'm going to be going over what you should expect once you start working. I'm going to talk about agency work, the shift you should work, delegating, time management, all that. And if you see me pointing up to the top of the screen, that means that I have a video going more into depth about whatever question I'm going over. And I'll either have the video up in the iCard, or you can look in the description box or look in the comment section, and I will have all of the videos there, and I'll have timestamps for each question in the comment section. So go ahead, like this video, follow me on Instagram, Facebook group, and also like, comment, and subscribe. All right, y'all, let's get into this video. This video is really good, so I hope you enjoy it. Peace. The best shift to work as a new nurse. Now this is getting into life as a new nurse, what you need to know once you get out of nursing school, some things you should know. So the best shift, I would say, as a new nurse, is going to differ from what other people would say, but I believe day shift is the best shift to work as a new nurse. Some people say night shift because it's pretty laid back. You get a chance to relax and understand, you know, how things are going. I like day shift because everyone is there. Management is there. All your doctors are coming. Some doctors do come in the evening shift though too, really. Therapy is there. Families are there. Like, everyone's there in the day shift, and it's fast paced. You get to be able to call the doctor and see what's going on. Call the pharmacy and see what's going on. Call and see why your labs are not in. You can do more in the day shift. Evening shift is a little bit laid back, so you could do that too, but if you have children, of course, evening shift is kind of tough. And then night shift, I still think night shift is good for new nurses because, like I said, it's laid back. You get a chance to learn more and see more. You have time, but you don't necessarily get that one-on-one connection with your patients because everybody's asleep. Now, granted, you got your patients who stay up all night, but for the most part, you're not getting a lot of assessment in on night shift. You're not really getting able to talk to patients, to know who the family members are, to know what your patients' normals are when you work night shift. But back in the day, new nurses were pretty much always put on night shift to start off with. So it really do come down to their personality too. But if I had to pick, day shift is cool, or evening shift, I wouldn't do night shift. But it depends on you and your lifestyle. Either way, you're going to get it. But I think some nurses who start off at night shift and they never work day shift or evening shift, they're not strong nurses. And I've even had nurse tell me, like, I don't really, you know, I only work night shift, so I don't really get that chance to really work on my nursing skills because I work night shift. All right, so if you hear anything in the background, that's my cheering. Let's get into the rest of the video. So we were talking about the shift that you should work. It depends on your lifestyle. I would say do either day shift or evening shift, but it really depends on you and what you got going on with your family. And I do have 3 videos talking about all those 3 different shifts and give you a gist of what it's like to work those 3 shifts. All right, so what are the differences between working in long-term care versus an office setting? So this could be a whole other video, but we're going to put it in this video. The main difference is long-term care, you're going to get a heavy patient load. Where I was working, it was a pretty big facility. I had on a good day, about 25 patients. If I was on the med-surg floor, which was like more of like acute care floor, it was probably 18 to 25 at the highest. But I would say probably like 14 to 18 at the highest. But sometimes it can go to 25. And then on a bad day, it was like you would have 25 patients on the med floor, which is a lot of patients, plus admits coming in. And on the long-term floor, I would have like maybe 50 to 60 patients on a bad day. Night shift, you might mess around, have 90 to 100. It gets real. But the patient load is different. The speed is different. Office setting, you know, more than like you're working Monday through Friday. You're not working holidays. It's way more laid back, way more chill, like very close knit, you know, because it's just an office, not that many employees. The pay is drastically different between a nursing home versus a office. So of course everything is, you know, depending on the area you're in, but more than likely you're going to see probably maybe $5 to $10 difference, I would say, working in an office setting versus long-term care. But the stress of being in a nursing home, it gets real. It gets real. The biggest differences between LPN and RN in clinical settings. So when you're in an actual nursing home, both LPN and RNs are considered the charge nurses, and it's really not that much of a difference. There's 3 things clinically that separate LPN from RN, and I believe that's the next question. In a nursing home, which at least here in Missouri is that LPNs cannot do initial assessments, but in a nursing home we do the initial assessments, and then the RN comes in and checks off what we did. And then there's also the difference of hanging blood, which we don't do that in nursing homes, and then pushing IV fluids. You cannot push IV fluids that are 15 minutes or less, and we don't do those in nursing homes anyway. So it's really not that much different in a nursing home setting. There are a few things that you would have to call an RN to come do for you. It just really depends on that facility's policies and procedures, but for the most part, it's not that much of a difference in the clinical setting in a nursing home. Now, when you go into a hospital, it's a lot different. LPNs are going to hospitals in some states. Here in Missouri, they definitely are. But I've heard people say that they perform more like a PCT with a little bit more skills and a little bit more responsibilities, but they're not up there with RN. So it really depends on the facility. It really depends on your job setting. But in nursing homes, you're pretty much doing the same freaking thing all day long. Okay, so can LPNs do travel nursing? Of course they can. Do I recommend it? Sure. If you have the lifestyle that helps you to be able to do it, of course. If you don't have kids, or, you know, even if you do have kids, you can still do it. You can do it during the summertime and take your family with you, and your kids can have a little vacay. You can be with your spouse or whatever, or you can do it just to make a good amount of money for about a month and have someone watch your children for you, or 6 weeks and have someone watch your children if you just want to make some money. But I definitely recommend it. There are LPN opportunities as far as travel nursing. You have to do your research. Go on Facebook on different like travel nursing groups, and then just ask them about it, or just do a Google search. So if you've been watching my video for this long and you have not subscribed already, please go ahead and subscribe. Share this video with somebody. Share with one of those people that's like, you want to become an LPN. Why? Go ahead and just forward them this video. After this, they might want to become LPN. Okay? You recommend getting right into a specialty as a new grad LPN, or more of general patient care? Now this, I would say, it really depends. If you know you want to do peds, go ahead and go into peds. Just go right into what you want to do. If you know that you want to work in a hospital, go to a hospital. If you know you want to work in geriatrics, go for geriatrics. You know you want to do home health, do that. Go for what you want. But for me, I believe that anyone starting off should get a solid foundation. And it helps you in the long run, I feel like, because say I wanted to do home health, and then I wanted to work in a nursing home. I would feel like I'm not strong as a nurse if I started home health, then went to a nursing home, because it's a totally different beast when you're in a nursing home. It's nurses that come from the hospital and go to a nursing home, be like, this is too much work. This is just too much work. And there are RNs that say this, like, all the time. So I would say start is something that's going to be a little bit harder, more of a challenge, especially while your clinical skills are more fresh. Do something that's going to challenge you to begin with. But then on the other end, if you know you want to do peds, that's all you want to do, go for that. If you know you want to be something more laid back, you want to do home health, go for what you want. But for me, while my clinical skills were still high, I like to have that solid foundation of being in a nursing home. Okay, so where do you suggest one starts as an LPN? Should they ease into it with home health, or should they go for the long-term care or hospital? I just answered that question. It does depend on you. Like I said, I would say stay at your long-term care facility. If you can, go ahead and do that, and do it from at least 6 months. But if you can get a solid year in, you'll be good. You'll be good. You'll know okay, is this for me? Because it's kind of like, for LPN, like the biggest, most challenging thing I think you could do as an LPN is long-term care, because you're getting all these different patients. You're getting long-term care. Some people think it's just little old people in their wheelchairs, like just asking for ice cream. Like, no, it's legit. It goes down in nursing homes, and you really learn a lot in that first 6 months to a year. And you start to learn time management. You start to learn how to delegate tasks, how to talk to physicians, how to deal with different family members, how to deal with multiple patients having multiple issues, how to deal with the subtle changes that happen in an elderly patient that you might not catch. They're subtle. You get to know yourself too. Like, can I handle this? Because it gets very busy in nursing homes. At least where I've worked at, it can get real busy. And you have to learn how to get in and like really get some work done. So 6 months to a year is solid. But at the end of the day, do it fits you. If you know that you need something that's a little bit, more chill, laid back, do home health, or maybe go for a smaller nursing home. Could you show how to get your resume together to get the job as a new grad? When applying for a job, will they consider your experience as a PCT as experience? Okay, resumes. I can't stand doing resumes, but what I will do, once I get my website up, I will put on there like some sample resumes and some tips and stuff that I got while I was in nursing school that I do think help. And I'll put that on the website. I know I keep talking about this website. Yeah, it's coming. I'm going to have it up for you all, but I'm going to put it up there that you can just look at. But you just basically just highlight your skills. I'm not good with resumes. I'm sure plenty of YouTubers who love doing that type of stuff. I am not into. I just can't. When we were in school, they actually showed us how to make a resume, and that's pretty much where I got my basis from it. So while you're in school, talk to your professors about it. That's like the number one thing I can say do. And as far as like, will they consider your PCT? They will. Some jobs will, and they will pay you for that. Some jobs won't. And so that's just that. That's just that. I think you make more money when you go to a new place as a new nurse versus staying where you're at as a PCT and wanting to get more pay. You make more money going somewhere else, in my opinion, which I can do a video about that, but I do believe you make more money. Okay, so what do you know about LPNs taking specialty courses such as wound care, pharmacology, IVs? Do you know where you can complete those courses that are helpful? So the only thing I know is I believe you can do wound care, like a wound care competency, whatever course that you can take. Hold on, I gotta stay hydrated. I ain't playing with y'all. We gotta get through this. So you can do something for wound care. I believe there is something out there for wound care, and one thing I know is IVs. So that's what I know. IV therapy. And then some states, they do require you to do continuing education, which you can find that online. There's some continuing ed courses online that you can do. Here in Missouri, they do not require it, but the specific facility in which I worked at, they did require that you had to get a certain amount done. But for our state, you did not have to do any continuing ed, but it varies across the U.S. How long should an LPN stay working in long-term care if this is their first job? Like I said, 6 months to a year. Stay in that one facility. You're going to hate it, but stay there. Just my opinion. Stay there. Get that solid experience. Take note. Take note. Okay. How can an LPN become a psych nurse? Just apply. They want psych nurses, and LPNs can do it here in St. Louis. You can look at, what is it called? Oh my gosh, St. Alexis Hospital. It's pretty much like the psych hospital here in St. Louis. They hire LPNs all the time, and mostly you're giving out pills. That's really what a lot of psych nurses do, is give out pills. I'm sure they do more. I don't want to demean the job, but that's for the most part, that's what they do, especially for LPNs. So can LPNs do wound care? Of course. That's like the biggest freaking thing we do. And you can become a wound nurse as an LPN. Just have to have some experience, but you can become the wound nurse over a facility as an LPN. You can become the admissions nurse at a facility as an LPN. You can become the admissions nurse for home health as an LPN, like the admissions coordinator. You can do a lot of things as an LPN. Maybe some tips on how to handle your first job. I do have a video about that. I have a few videos actually. The biggest thing I can say is you have to just pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on and ask questions. If you don't know, you need to ask. You need to ask somebody to help you. If that person doesn't help you, go to someone else. Always someone around to help. And if there's something that you don't understand, like a drug or a disease, whatever, write it down and study it once you get home or while you're on the job. Ask questions, talk to your patients, listen to your patients, because a lot of these patients have had these diseases for a very long time. And some people feel like, oh, you don't know what's going on, but they know what's going on with them. Some patients say, you know, my sugar is low. Can you just check my sugar? I feel like it's low. Check that person's sugar, you know. But keep your eye. You're a new nurse. So the biggest thing I can say is understand that you're new and that it's going to take time for you to get it. Don't come down on yourself about it. It's new to you. Like, this is a new thing, okay? 2 months into it, you're going to be a totally different person. So just be new. We're not going to be perfect at anything just starting off, okay? It takes time. Don't beat yourself up, okay? Y'all, them kids, okay. They not acting like they okay, but they're okay. Let's see. What specialties can LPNs work under? So, like I said, go on Indeed. There's so much on there. You can do, especially if you want to work at like clinics, you can do internal medicine. You can do oncology. You can become an IV nurse as an LPN. Some places, they let you do that. Like I said, you can do admissions coordinator. You can be the admissions nurse at a nursing home. You can do wound care. You can be a school nurse. Someone did ask about that. Some school districts will take you as an LPN. You can do a lot. Home health, peds. Definitely peds actually takes LPNs like big time. So those are some different things you can do. You can work in an ER. It just depends on your state and the facility. Just know that that pay. Nursing homes pay you the most, flat out. But dialysis, if you an LPN, you can get in somewhere doing dialysis. It's good money. All right, so as long as they're not trying to pay you as like a tech, they're actually going to pay you as a nurse. It's good money. I know somebody, she was going to get paid 28 and 29 an hour, and she turned it down. That's a lot of money here in St. Louis. Will agencies hire you fresh out of school, or do you have to work at a nursing home first? So typically agencies want you to have 1 to 2 years of experience. There are some that will take you. Be wary of them, you know. I feel like, why do you want to work agency as a new nurse? That's a question. I mean, the pay, yeah, but it's a lot of responsibility. You have to be strong and confident in what you're doing. And you want to have that foundation. You really want to have a foundation as a nurse, because there's just so many different things. And you don't want to go into a facility bombarded by stuff, because it's already going to be hard going in there as a seasoned nurse, because if that facility is short, more than likely that facility is not ran properly. Let me grab this child. I swear, every time I do a video, like, my kids don't have clothes on. I don't know what it is. Here. Don't mind her face, y'all. She just ate this little thing, and so it's like all over her face. We're going to do baths in a minute. Here, take this, boo-boo. You looking at yourself? You looking at yourself? Okay, so what was he talking about? Oh, so yeah. I mean, the money is good, but the headache of working agency without having the experience of being a nurse for a minute, I just don't think it's worth it. If anything, if you're looking to make a little bit more money as a new nurse, do PRN somewhere, because some places will pay you more PRN. Some places pay you more if you work nights. If you work, weekends, they will pay you a little bit more some places. So just look around. But as a new nurse, I do not suggest you go into agency work. In some states, LVNs are not hired equally in hospitals, when in nursing homes, rehabs, they work the same. Oh, because they're asking, why is it when you go into a hospital as an LPN, why aren't you basically at the same level as an RN? Because you're not at the same level as an RN at the end of the day. And the amount of care and the acuity of care is totally different in a hospital than it is in a nursing home. So that's why. And you have to respect that. At the end of the day, you got to respect it. So, how to delegate as a new nurse. it's tough delegating in general, but as a new nurse, you need respect. Respect is the top thing as far as delegation. You have to gain the respect of the people that you work with, and you have to respect them as well. But at the end of the day, you are the nurse, baby. So it is what it is. Trying to manage the floor and passing pills at the same time as a new nurse. So some of these questions you all are asking are not necessarily geared towards LPN, but I'm going to touch on them a little bit, and I'll give you all some videos to go more into depth with them. But basically, time management as a new nurse is you have to prioritize, and I would say just start. Get to the top of the cart, the top of the hall, have your cart, have your computer or your book, and just start from there. And if there's something that you're missing, write it down so you know to come back to it. You have to just start working, get to work on time, and just start working. Don't sit there waiting for such and such to give you a report. If anything, you need to start looking around, looking at the sheet, writing out what you need to do for the day. Like, come in and start working. Don't sit around lollygagging. Don't. You're going to be behind so much. But I do have videos about time management. But once again, it takes time for you to get that flow going. It takes time. Do not beat yourself up. It takes time for you to get the flow. Sometimes you have to come in and be like, okay, I know I got to do these AccuChecks before breakfast. Am I going to do AccuChecks? Am I going to do their wounds while they're in the bed? Because it's easier to do the wound care while they're in the bed. I'm going to do AccuChecks because I know they got to wake up at a certain time and get out the bed. Let me see. Okay. I would say at that point, if you can do AccuChecks, you can do AccuChecks while they're in the bed, while they're out the bed. But that wound, if it's on their butt and you know it's going to take them forever to lay back down, you might have to just do that wound care real quick and then jump on your AccuCheck. So it's just, you'll get used to it. That's all I can say. I know it sounds horrible, but though you got to kind of figure out, once you start working, you'll get the gist of it. I know I'm really not helping y'all with that. But you'll see. And what's good as a new nurse, if you can, ask to be on that same floor so you can get to know patients and you can get to know how people are. And once you get to know people, you'll start to get a rhythm, and then you can go and work anywhere. That's why I say I wouldn't jump into doing agency work until you understand your rhythm and how you work. You know, you got to be able to start getting your swag together as a nurse. And it takes you being with the same patients, being on the same floor, being in the same facility for you to start catching your rhythm and be like, okay, boom, I'm going to get this done and I'm going to do this. And you have more confidence, you know how you move. But just starting off, it's going to take you a minute to get there. Why is it just about every state there's a shortage of nursing, and why are people leaving the nursing field? So, because people don't realize how hard it is. I'm going to do a whole video about that. People don't realize what it takes to be a nurse, and it's not always depicted, you know, and they make it seem like, oh, we're nurses, we're angels on earth. Like, oh my God, we're just selfless creatures out here. But nursing, it takes work to be a nurse. To care for someone and to have family you have to take care of, and then sometimes you realize that your compensation is just not making up for it. Ooh, I'm gonna do a whole video about this, you all, but it's that's a good question, and all I can say is you have to do it for yourself. And if you went and did nursing school and all that, and you're like, I don't know if this is for me, you need to work at it for about a year, 6 months to a year, and then maybe go to a different facility or a different specialty and see if that changes, you know, your passion for nursing. I'm not gonna lie, my passion for nursing pretty much dissolved while being in nursing homes. It wasn't until I started getting more into YouTube and start more focusing on education and putting more of my energy into like the next generation of nursing that I became more excited about it. But of course, you all know I want to work in the ER. Like, I want to work in the ER like so bad. Oh my goodness, I want to be that nurse that's like, I love the action of it all. And plus, I love to learn. I feel like in the ER, like I'm learning every single day. In the nursing home, you do learn, but it's just, sometimes the politics too just gets to you in the nursing field in general. It can become, it's not always about helping people. Let's just say that. Okay, how to handle a heavy patient load. Once again, this kind of goes with time management. You have to delegate. You have to delegate and ask for help. And you have to prioritize what's the most important thing. More than likely when you're in a nursing home, you're going to have AccuChecks, pain pills, If you have tube feeders, you have tube feedings. And if you have someone on trach, you got that you have to take care of. And then you will have you'll have your wounds, okay? Those are pretty much your 5 things that you're going to be dealing with. Of course, there's going to be certain times where you have to kind of just, there's going to be those things that come out of nowhere, like, oh, I have a headache, or oh, I failed, you know, something like that are going to come. But for the most part, on a daily basis, those 5 things are going to be what you're going to be dealing with your patients. And so it's up to you to say, okay, what's the most important thing? You know, some facilities, let me take it back. Some facilities you do have to do pills in general, like all the pills, not just pain pills. So keep that in mind too. But you got to say what's most important, or how do I want to structure my day? If you come in at 6:30 and you got acute-checks or wounds that you want to take care of, breakfast is not till 8. Why are you coming in doing acute-checks? At that time, you need to look at all your patients and then maybe start doing wound care while they're in bed. Do your treatments. Okay, let me see who has actual wounds. I have to take off the dressing, clean, and slap a new one on. Okay, let me see that. Oh, well, let me check and see who has showers first to make sure I'm not doing this freaking treatment on this patient and it's going to just get soggy. I have to do it over again. You know, talk to your aides. Ask them. Say, hey, who on your team has a dressing? Or who on your team, you know, doesn't want to get laid down? You know, so because I have to do a treatment on her. Is it best to do it now, or you think I should wait? Talk to your aides, respect your aides, and talk to your aides. Talk to other nurses. When they're giving you a report, be like, hey, let me know who has 2 feet. Let me know that, like, I'm new to this. Let me know what I got to do. You know, some nurses, like when I would work agency, they'd be like, hey, okay, so this person has this, you know, or she is really, you know, she needs to have her pain pills on time. Boom. They say that, you write it down. Or somebody says, you know, when every time I give her something, she throws up every single time. So make sure you give her Zofran before you give her tube feedings. So write that down. You know, ask for help. You have to start learning your patients, though, when it comes to having a heavy patient load, and just prioritize. Some stuff, I'm not going to lie, you're not going to be able to do everything. But those things, you better change those dressings. That's the stuff that if you don't do it, it's going to fall back on you. You can't say, okay, I know this sounds horrible, but if it came down to you putting some lotion on somebody, or you change a dressing on somebody, how they gonna know you didn't put the lotion on them? But they gonna know for sure that you did not change that dressing. So focus on, you know, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Moving on. I think those are all the questions, you all. I feel like that was a good representation of everything you need to expect. As far as becoming an LPN, if I left anything out, let me know and I'll do a part 2 to this video. And if there's anything that I talked about that you want me to go into greater detail and I do not have a video about it, let me know in the comment section. Let me know, did you learn anything from this video? I want to know. Let these comment section pop. Okay, let it pop, honey. Share my video, share my channel. Thank you all for supporting me. Thank you all for all the donations. I have been so blessed with so many donations from you all, so I really appreciate that. Thank you for everybody who's been ordering earrings. Check out my Etsy shop, and I'm going to be putting my website up for you all very soon, so go check that out as well. It's going to be YourFavNurseB.com. You know, of course. I'll let you know when I put that up, so turn on your notifications so you can see all my videos when they pop up. And I just want to leave you all with saying, you know, if you are in LPN school, you want to become an LPN, and maybe you've been hearing people say negative stuff about it, do the research for yourself. And if you do make the decision, do not let people discourage you. Do not let people say, oh, you need to go for your RN. You need to do this, da 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 da. Because guess what? When you go for your RN, people are going to say, well, why don't you go for your BSN? When you go for your BSN, why don't you get your master's? Or why don't you become a nurse practitioner? You become a nurse practitioner. Why didn't you become a doctor? You become a doctor. Oh, why didn't you do surgery? Oh, you become a surgeon. Oh, you think you got? People will always have something to say at the end of the day. So you have to create the vision that you want for your life, and you have to know why you're doing it and focus on that. And of course, like I said, if anybody has anything to say to you, send them to Nurse B. Send them over to me, okay? And I'll help them out. But if you know you want to do it, go for it. But do the research beforehand. I have a lot of videos talking about it. I'm very open about being a nurse, being an LPN, working in nursing homes. And because I do believe people don't really know. And I'm going to do a video talking about that. People don't really know. But I know, baby. You just... Here, you want to see the people? You want to get in the tub since you got food all over your face? I know, yeah. Girl, just look at her. She just smiling. smiling. So yeah, be confident in your decision to become an LPN. If you're in school and it gets tough, honey, I know, but you can get through it. It's a year, 2 years, or whatever of your life. You can get through it. It's possible. Plenty of people have done it with kids, without kids, with a husband, without a husband, without support, without, with support. People have done it. So that's that. Thank you all so much for watching, for all your support. Like, comment, and subscribe. All right. Peace.